All right, everyone. So in this video here, I just got this in the mail today, and this is the Nintendo Switch Online exclusive NES controllers for the Nintendo Switch. Now, when I say exclusive, they are actually exclusive just for members that pay for the online service through Nintendo. And you can tell this is not really designed for retail because, well, for one, there's no UPC code. There is absolutely no UPC code for this thing. So yeah, this is how the back of it looks. Gives you little instructions there, well, or a little description actually. Yeah. So let's go ahead and open this up and let's see what we get. Now this piece of plastic it's not really glued on here, it's just kind of stuck in there. Remember, this is not designed for retail. So if you see a store selling these things, you might want to question it how it got it. But here it is. And just on a side note, I did open these up just to quickly test them out before making this video, and I just put everything back in. But yeah, you get two of these. These are $59.99, and so they're $30 each. And is there anything else in here? It doesn't look like there's nothing underneath here. I thought, maybe they would put some kind of, none. So just push that in, put that to the side, and these are the controllers. Now, we'll just put one to the side since it's pretty much the same. So yeah, this is really intended to play NES games on the Switch, and which kind of makes sense why, in some ways, why this would be exclusive online only directly from Nintendo. Is because apart from that, while you can actually use these controllers, actually if I hold it this way, you could actually use it connected to the Switch and actually play games like this, but it's not really intended for that. It's really meant to play it this way. But you do get the railing here to connect it to the Switch. There's also a release button back here. So if you're familiar with the Joy-Cons, they're pretty much the same setup. So if I grab my Switch over here, you got the same button on the back here. Now, obviously, there are some things that's going to be lacking. For one, you're not going to get an actual ABXY configuration. This is strictly for NES games, though they do give you an L and R, but they're not the traditional type of L and R setup like it is on the Joy-Cons. And yes, they do connect. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is it's not very obvious how you connect it to this, because you can hold it this way, slide it in, or you can hold it this way and slide it in, and it kind of looks the same. But they, just like the actual Joy-Con controllers, there are little arrows pointed the direction that it needs to go. So in this case, it goes on like this, and like that. And this is how these controllers look like when they're connected. It looks kind of ridiculous, and these are actually bigger than the Joy-Cons. So just to give you a little size comparison. But you are able to use them like this. So yeah, you can actually play games. You can play NES games like this. So if I connected to it. And by the way, just on the side note, the way you would pair these up for the first time is pretty much the same like the Joy-Cons. You just slide it in there and it will automatically pair, but there is an actual sync button on here too. So even down the line when the Switch Online service, or at least, this software isn't relevant anymore, some people were saying that, these become essentially paperweights, but you could, because these are Bluetooth controllers. The Joy-Cons, the Pro controller, all the controllers for the Switch communicates through Bluetooth, unless you get like a USB wired version. But wirelessly, it's all Bluetooth. So you could connect this to a computer, and you have an authentic wireless NES controller for your computer. So that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, it is working. And one thing you can do, now the L and R's are supposed to do something. So let's see. Yeah. So the L captures screenshots you can hold, and we'll do a video. Press the R, that's your home button. Now if you do both, you might have to be in a game. Let's see. Yeah, suspend game. So even the controls are different when you're using these. So when you hold down L and R, you can suspend the game. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it works fine. The feel of it is pretty much identical to the original NES controllers. Even if you have the original ones or the NES Classics consoles, this pretty much feels identical. The only exception is you have this bit here, and there's obviously no wire coming out. Now here's the thing though. If you're a hardcore NES player for the Switch, for $60, $30 each, when you look at it that way, the price of it doesn't seem too bad for official controllers. The only problem is these are intended for using NES games, which that's kind of the whole point. And that's probably why they also made these exclusive, because they probably know, hey, if we sell this in the stores, for one, they're probably going to get a lot of complaints asking, like, where are the NES games? So basically, by selling this online only, I guess Nintendo figured they would avoid that aspect of complaints. Now, just to let you guys know, you can play the games connected. So you can play it like this. So yeah, you can actually play it this way. So if I hold it this way, I know it's upside down, so. All right, let me see if I can get this. Oh crap, wrong button. Okay. Oh, wow. That's actually cool. Hold down the B button on both sides. You get the suspend menu. how would you go to your home menu? Maybe hold down both starts. Start and select A and B. Oh, the D-pad here is the home button. Okay. Let's try this again. Suspend. Capture. Hold it. Saves it. Press the D-pad. This D-pad here is your home button. So you could play the game like this too. And in a weird way, this is actually not terrible either. It is a little weird how you got this flat bottom, but I guess you can kind of say the same thing with the Joy-Cons. But because of this orientation also, you got this A and B, you know, you can basically have your thumb just sitting there, you know, up and down, though you have to get the orientation correct. But out of curiosity, let's see what happens when you put this game in. Would it let me play the game this way? It is working. So this is allowing you to play the game. Now, out of curiosity, and yes, the NES controller does come up here. So it is baked into the firmware. So yeah, this is working. So a game like Tokitori, you could play this game using the NES controller. That's actually kind of cool, actually. At least it'll give you a little more variety. Okay, there is one issue though. It is letting me play it, but the L and R's doesn't do anything. So you may have to work it out a little bit. Now let's see. You know what? Let's see what happens. You know what? Let me load up Smash Brothers. Let's see what happens if it'll let me use the NES controllers for Smash Brothers. Because this is actually a curiosity of mine. But you might have to have like the right Joy-Con next to you just because of the home button. For everything else outside of the NES games, it is working. You know what? Let me grab something real quick. What I want to grab is the wrist strap for the regular Joy-Cons. Hopefully it's not gonna be too bad what I just did, but so yeah, you could theoretically attach this on here. Oh wow, that actually comes out a lot easier. Of course, when you lock it in, it does actually lock. But yeah, this does connect it just fine, which, you know, it should. But let's go ahead and do smash. It is working. Though I'm not sure. I don't know if you can really get away with this. I guess we'll find out. You know what? Just because I'm trying this out, I'll do level 1. And let's see what happens. Oh, look. Nope, you can't. Because it's thinking this D-pad is this D-pad here. Yeah, can't. So yeah, that actually, you know what? Let me try something. Yeah. So yeah, you obviously can't really play Smash Brothers with an NES controller, which Nintendo, that might be something you might want to try. But yeah. So yeah, that was just a quick look at these NES controllers for the Nintendo Switch. Is it really worth getting this when you're already paying for the service just for the NES games? That's going to be a hard sell. I think most people would be fine just using the Joy-Cons, you know, sideways, even though it is going to be the analog stick. I think most people will be fine using those, but if you are one of those people that want a more authentic experience, this probably wouldn't be terrible to do. But yeah, this is really intended for the NES games, though games like Tokitori could work too. At least from what I've quickly played. But don't get this if you have no interest in the NES games, don't buy them. But if you do have interest in playing NES games and you want a more authentic experience, this is the way to go, though I would not be surprised if third-party manufacturers come out with like cheaper versions. But yeah, the feel of it feels fine. It is a little bit heavier because, you know, there is a little bit more going on with this, you know, like a battery and things like that. So there's a little bit more weight, but it is evenly weight. So it's not going to feel heavy on one side or the other. So it does feel good in the hand. The L&R is really there just for added inputs. And I just noticed this. But there is a little NES icon right there. So yeah. So yeah, that was just a unboxing and quick look at these NES controllers for the Nintendo Switch. If one negative I do have to give them, though, is going to probably be the price. Because honestly, $60 is a little bit on the high side for this thing. At most, this should have been $40. At most. Because here's the thing. People buying this is already paying for the service. So by incentivizing a lower price for these controllers, you're going to encourage people to keep playing these games and to pay for the online service. That's just my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave those comments down below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and like always, have a good one. It does look a little weird when it is like this, though.